Hello friends, welcome back to my channel once again, and let us continue with the subject that why you are not getting any profound result even after doing meditation. To give you the reasons, I've already explained you yesterday that meditation is though a single word, but there are criteria which has to be fulfilled. Patrata, you need to qualify. You need to have the qualities and capabilities to accomplish meditation successfully, and only then you can expect some result. And while discussing about what are the criteria, I told you about the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. I've explained you what is Ashtanga Yoga. There are 8 chapters or 8 limbs, and it starts with Yama, then Niyama, then Asana, then Pratyahar, Pranayama, then Dhyana, Dharana, and Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs. And we have already discussed about Yama in my previous episode. So today we are going to start with the second chapter, which is Niyama. Now in simple words, Niyam means rules. There are few rules set to prepare the participant physically and mentally to make that person eligible to meditate. Because again, in my previous video, I told you about Patrata. Patrata means the capacity to hold knowledge, the capacity to persevere. So let us begin with Niyama, the second chapter. So these are the basics. If you do not prepare yourself, let's say for example, that you want to climb Mount Everest, you need preparations for that, right? If suddenly you decide that, okay, next month I'll climb Mount Everest, that is next to impossible. So there has to be preparations, physically and mentally, right? So without that, if you climb Mount Everest, then it can be fatal. Similarly, to get profound result out of meditation, you need to prepare yourself both ways, physically and mentally. And there are few set of guidelines provided by Patanjali. If you start following them, then eventually at one point of time, you will be prepared to meditate. So if you are doing meditation right now, I'm not asking you to stop that. Okay? But try to analyze whatever I'm telling you, whatever I'm explaining you. Try to implement them in your life. Okay? So let us begin. Niyama. Niyama means few set of rules. Now, many people debate. I'm sharing you a bookish knowledge that Niyama, according to Patanjali, there are 5 Niyamas, and according to few books, there are 10 Niyamas. So, we are not going to get involved into all of them. To me, there are main 3 things which must be followed. Okay? And the first Niyam is Sauch. Sauch means purity. Purification of the physical body, purification of the mind. Okay? Taking a shower in the early morning, that is again a niyama. And that is to cleanse it. Okay? To intake proper food, that is again Sauch. Because if you are not taking the right food, in that case, it will build up such type of chemicals which will not let you proceed in the path of meditation. Physically and mentally, I'm telling you, because whatever you eat, that puts an impact on your emotions. Emotions means psychic, mental, right? So emotions are created or generated based on the chemicals inside your body, and these chemicals are released based on the diet which you consume. There comes three types of people on earth: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Based on your food habits, your nature changes. If your food is sattvic, in that case, you will become a teacher, a guru. You will work on the path of religion or spirituality. If you are Rajasic, Rajasic food means king's food, Rajasic. So he'll be having a mixed kind of nature. Means he can be spiritual, but at the same time he can be fearless fighter also. That is Rajasic. Okay? And Tamasic means it represents negative or destructive kind of mentality. Usually, Tamasic people are considered as asuras. They possess too much of intelligence. At the same time, they do possess too much of strength, physical. But the thing is, their greed spoils them. That is the difference. So it all depends upon what kind of food you are consuming. So to cleanse the body, you need to focus on your food habits. As you already know that if you are eating red meat, in that case, it will increase your blood pressure. It will increase your heart rate. Your body has to work more to digest red meat. In comparison with people who are living on diet based on vegetables or fruits or milk and things like that, because those are easy to digest. So you understand the difference? The chemicals released to digest red meat is or will never be similar to the chemicals released to digest a few mangoes and grapes and bananas. So based on the release of these chemicals, your hormone changes, your psychic changes. So that is why food is important. It is not asking you not to eat this and that. Okay? If you are eating red meat, fine, it is allowed. There is no harm in it. But provided you need muscle power, your job forces you to eat or consume red meat. It can happen. Say for example, you are in the army and you are serving your duty in a place where it is covered with snow throughout the year. So you must consume red meat. That is okay, because your job demands that physical muscle power. But again, if you are trying to follow the spiritual path, if you are trying to study, then you do not need muscle power. You need brain power. All your energy is consumed by your brain, not your physical body. Now, to give the right nourishment for the brain, red meat is not good. Anything you eat which is easily digestible, that is suggested. So if you are trying to sit on meditation, then of course you need to focus on your diet too. Choice is yours, and you will have to research that what kind of diet you should follow. So that is also there. Waking up early in the morning, that is also a niyama, along with Sauch. Sauch means purification, simply. Say, for example, you have cholesterol problem. So, in that case, you should be avoiding saturated fat. That is Sauch, means you are purifying your body by cutting down food which contains saturated fat. You have uric acid, so you need to avoid such type of food which increases the percentage of uric acid in your system. So these are the basics, because otherwise you sit in meditation and after a few hours you are not able to walk. What is the point? So that is why Sauch is important, means cleanse the body from inside, outside, and cleanse the mind. Okay. Now, how do you cleanse the mind? That is why the second chapter within Niyama is Swadhyay, investigating the self. Okay? Like whatever you do, you analyze it, that whether you are doing it to boost your ego or to make others happy. Whether the nature of your action is selfish or selfless. What do you want in life? What you want to achieve? What is the purpose of life? These are the things which you need to ask yourself. Swa Adhyay means self-learning. How it can be achieved? By questioning the self. That is Swadhyay. So Swadhyay means introspection, like investigating the motive of my thought and my actions. That is how you purify yourself, purify the mind. That whether I'm following the right path or I'm not following the right path. Whether I'm following the path of Hingsa or whether I'm following the path of Ahimsa, non-violence. Whether I'm doing something good to the society or whether I'm doing some harm to the society. Whether I'm helping the nature, working in synchronization with the nature, or whether I'm going against the nature, whether I'm doing something against the nature. So these are the questions which you should ask yourself. And you need to listen to your conscience. That is how you purify your mind. So first is Saucha. Within Niyama, first is Sauch, that is keeping the body outside, inside, clean and cleansing it on a daily basis. And then cleansing the mind. How to cleanse the mind? Is through Swadhyay. Did I learn from this video? That is Swadhyay. Whatever I'm learning, am I willing to implement them? Or I'm trying to find excuses? That is called Swadhyay. It falls within Niyama. And when you realize that no, I must implement them, then you start your perseverance, and that is the third niyama, tapas, perseverance. Tapas comes from the word tap. Tap means heat. So when you are forcing yourself to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:50 and by 4:30 taking a shower, whether be it a winter or summer or monsoon, okay, and then without giving any excuse, you are doing the jobs assigned to you. Those are difficult things which needs lot of tapas. Sitting in one particular place for 1 hour, that is also tapas. Controlling the desire to eat, controlling the desire for luxury is also tapas, means you are sacrificing. So these things give you pain. Tap, heat, gives you what? Pain. So tapas is your willingness to sacrifice your luxuries, lethargies, excuses, and instead implementing the right thing for you. That is tapas. And following it on a regular basis. It's not like, okay, let me try it for 2 days. If I can't, then I'll leave. No. Once you have decided, then you must follow it on a daily basis. That is tapas. Tapa. So, these are the 3 most important things within niyama, which you must focus, which you must realize and implement them before you actually start meditation. Ask yourself, to what extent are you willing to sacrifice? Not for 1 day or 2 days, but throughout your life. Ask yourself, are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you willing? Can you? Should you? Ask yourself. So unless you are mentally and physically prepared to persevere, to achieve your goal, to succeed in meditation, you should not do it, because it will be fruitless. That is why tapas is required. See, these chapters, these lessons are to prepare you physically and mentally to achieve the ultimate goal of samadhi through meditation. Tapas, tap, is a Sanskrit word which means heat. How much heat can you absorb in terms of pain? How much pain can you absorb? So, if you are not getting any result from your meditation, you should rethink that how much sacrifice are you willing to make? Because to achieve a profound result through meditation demands huge sacrifice, perseverance, which in other words is called tapas. You are sitting in one particular place for 1 hour, 2 hours. You are reading books for more than an hour. These are tapas, perseverance, to know more, seeking. Okay? So, do you find yourself ready, prepared, willing? If yes, then proceed. Otherwise, prepare yourself. So, to me, within niyama, these are the 3 most important things: Sauch, Swadhyay, and Tapas. So, second chapter is complete. So, what have we learned? That you need to cleanse your body, purify your body from inside out, and purify your mind also. Because meditation, this process, demands you have these qualities. Otherwise, you cannot be a successful practitioner. Okay? If someone is telling you that in 1 month they'll help you with a technique of meditation through which you can attract money, those are lies. Okay? Yes, to some extent for minor problems you can do meditation, but they will never give you a profound experience or result. No. You have practiced for 1 month, you will get the results also accordingly, which are very, very negligible and temporary. Now, let's move on to the third chapter. Yama we have discussed, Niyama we have discussed. Then comes asana. This is one of the most important part. From here you actually begin the first step. Okay? Because now you are psychologically and physically prepared to meditate. So now comes the third part, which is asana. Okay? What is asana? Postures. Which posture should you choose to practice meditation? That is important. And it varies from person to person. The Buddha's lotus position may not be applicable for everyone. And you should choose your posture, which is the most comfortable position for you to do meditation. That is called asana. There are multiple asanas and you need to learn them. Not practice them, learn them. And choose one out of those. Because it is not important that how many postures, how many asanas you can perform. It is important to master only one asana to become successful. It is not important that you learn 100 asanas, but you do not master in any one of them. That is not suggested. So you choose your posture, but it has to be perfect. Because if the posture is wrong, in that case, it can work against you. It will again not provide you with a good result through meditation. Even mudra. Buddha usually is seen sitting in the lotus position with his hands or the palm in this position, right? This is a mudra. This is also within asana. Now science, they are not so much interested to investigate that what is the importance of mudra. This namaste is also a mudra. Okay, pranam. This falls into mudra. Asana, subcategory of asana is mudra. Working with the fingers. So, as I said, like I'm just explaining you with the surface. I'm not going deep. But you need to investigate that which mudra is good for you, which asana is good for you. Asana is a very vast chapter. There are many asanas, many types of asanas, and many types of mudras too. So you will have to read about those asanas from an authentic book and choose the right asana which puts you in a comfortable position to continue with your meditation. Then comes what? Pranayama. Pranayama is the practice of the breath. Now this is also a way to cleanse your body and mind. But breathing is important. Because if you just let it flow on its own, then it is not going to do anything good to you. You need to control it, have control over your breath. That is what it demands, pranayam. Of course, it cures the body from multiple illness. It prepares the body for meditation. It prepares the mind to actually focus more. Okay, there are a lot of advantages, very few disadvantages, provided you are not doing them properly. But pranayama also cleanses everything. But the most important part is that through pranayama, you hold lot of control on your physical body to perform meditation. If your body is very weak, if your pulse is very weak, in that case, accidents might happen. Like, say for example, you are meditating and you have never practiced pranayama, and you are sitting for nearly about 45 minutes or 50 minutes, and suddenly someone, makes a banging noise or shakes you, sudden noise. Okay, so if someone does that to your physical body while you are meditating for 45-50 minutes continuously, in that case it can cause heart attack also. It will just take few milliseconds. Forget about loud sound. You are deep into meditation. If someone touches you, you can have heart attack. Pranayam is important because it keeps your physical body grounded. It helps the body to gain vitality and strength and stamina. It helps cleansing the body, physical body, and the mind properly. It controls the emotions also. When you are too much angry, for 5 minutes, take deep breath, and you will find that the anger has come down. Say for example, you are watching a horror movie and the climax has just started. Just try to notice how you are breathing. Most of you will notice that you are not breathing at all. And those kind of things actually causes a lot of damage to our body. If your breathing habit is not proper, then it can cause cancer also. People who are in depression, you will find that they are not breathing properly. That is the first problem. So through pranayam, you start cleansing your body and mind. And everything is like chemical reaction which is happening within our body. So the moment you provide, proper air, proper oxygen to the body, it gains its vitality, its strength back, and rectifies the imbalance of different hormones, enzymes, acids, fluids inside our body, which creates emotions, which again creates different kind of psychology. Good or bad, different thing. But psychology, it helps us to have a clear mind. So that is pranayam. So let me keep it short for today. The next thing is pratyahar. Now, pratyahar is the phase when you start shutting down the outside world and you start peeping into the inside world. A person who is always looking inside, not outside. So this is the mid portion. Till now, you are thinking about your health, your vitality, your strength, mental and physical. You are preparing yourself to actually, sit for meditation. Now, when you have completed or prepared yourself or fulfilled yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, then comes pratyahar. Pratyahar means now slowly you start shutting down your senses from the outside world. You start disconnecting your senses from the outside world and you start focusing inside. Inside means, who am I? Why am I here? Who is God? What is the meaning of truth? What is Brahman? Who created God? Who created the earth? Who created me? What is my purpose here? What happens after death? Is there any rebirth? Is there hell, heaven? These kind of things now, comes into your mind. And now you are not focused about what is happening outside. Now you are slowly focusing inside. You are starting to analyze here, inside. Okay? Now you are learning to have a conversation with your superconscious. Now, eventually you allow your conscience to speak to your superconscious. Okay? To me, as I said, superconscious is the ultimate for me. That is Brahman for me. Okay? And what is superconscious? In one of my previous videos, I have already explained you. Conscience is mine. Okay? It is basically full of memories, teachings, experiences, good and bad, and thereby conscience actually guides me to choose between right and wrong, what to do, what not to do. That is my conscience. But my conscience is again based on my knowledge acquired throughout my life till date. So my conscience can be manipulated based on the situation. But the superconscious is not me alone, though it is a part within me, but it is formed due to the contribution of my ancestors' experiences. They cannot be manipulated. They cannot be changed. They cannot be harmed. And whatever answer comes from your superconscious is always correct for you. Because I'm not talking about previous generation means 1 or 2 or 3 or 7 or 10. No. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of my previous generation. That is within my DNA. And that is called superconscious. It cannot be manipulated. It cannot be altered. It cannot be changed. My conscience can be changed. Today I am saying ahimsa is something which I must follow, which you must follow, which everyone must follow. But again, my conscience also thinks that what happens when there is a war? If tomorrow there is a war, if I am forced to join the army, will I kill or will I not kill? Now my conscience is in dilemma. Now I am becoming selfish. Okay, no, I need to guard my nation. I need to guard my family. I need to guard those helpless people of my state. I become selfish, so I must kill. But on the other hand, my conscience says, no, you have been following ahimsa, which is non-violence. So now I am in dilemma, whether to kill or not to kill. If I am forced to join in a war in the army. So you understand, my conscience can be manipulated. So in Pratyahar, what I do is I allow my conscience to have a conversation with my superconscious. So then the superconscious is going to ask me, what do you want in your life? Do you want victory in this war? Then go and fight. But what happens when you die? You will be dying alone. So is this the path you want to choose? You want to die with guilt? Now, if I'm desperate, then I listen to my conscience that no, whatever, if I have to face hell, I'm ready for that. But at least I'll be able to console myself that I did something for my, nation. So I'll follow my conscience. But if I'm selfish and I'm looking for moksha or samadhi, then I'll forget about the nation. I'll listen to my superconscious, which is very selfish in nature. And it will tell me that no, do not fall into the trap of rebirth. So, go to a quiet place and continue with your meditation. Achieve samadhi, achieve moksha, and stop the cycle of this rebirth. So you understand? So in Pratyahar, you allow the conscience to have a conversation with your superconscious, to identity inside you. So in Pratyahar, you get detached from the outside world slowly, because that is what you have been trying to do since last so many years. You have first successfully followed the path of Yama or the guidelines of Yama and fulfilled that criteria. Then you have followed the path of Niyama and you have done enough tapas or perseverance or practice day in, day out for the last so many years. So you have been preparing yourself for so many years. And that is why today it becomes much easy and logical for you to get detached. You close all your senses, sensory organs. You start shutting down all your sensory organs. When you are sitting for meditation, I'm not talking about all the time, no. When you are practicing meditation, you get detached from the external world and you start looking inside you, inside, the brain, inside the mind. You dissect every decision you make, with the help of your intellect, that whether it is good or bad. Then these questions will also arise, that is there any sin or there is nothing called sin? Is there anything called good and bad, or there is nothing as such called good and bad? For a lion in a jungle, there is nothing called good and bad. You tell me about one creature on earth, apart from human beings, who goes through this question that whether this is good or bad, whether this is a good deed or bad deed, whether this is a sinful act or, a righteous act. Any creature? No. So on earth, every creature is created with this kind of mentality that there is nothing called good and bad. You follow your nature or dharma. What is dharma? What is the difference between dharma and religion? There is an episode in my playlist. Please, if you are interested, you can watch it. So these type of questions will come in your mind, that is there really anything called good and bad, good deed, bad deed, sinful act? Is there really anything called heaven, hell? Do other creatures also face hell and heaven? Is there any physical reincarnation or physical rebirth which is going to happen to me? What is soul? What is Atma? These questions will not let you sleep. If you have been preparing yourself, it doesn't happen in one day or 1 year. I'm not trying to demotivate you. Okay? There are many people who are much more advanced in comparison with my intellect, because the situation has made them like that. Today what I am is because of the situation, the chemicals inside my body, the situation around me, and how I interact with the outer world and my inner world. It's that relation which has made me. So I'm not demotivating you that, you cannot achieve anything in 1 year. But for me, I think achieving anything in 1 year or less than 2 years is very difficult. Very difficult. Unless you leave everything and go to a jungle and live a life of a hermit or a renunciate. Otherwise, living in this family life, it is very difficult, because you have other responsibilities to fulfill also. So it will take time. But let it flow and do not rush. Okay? By rushing, you will never be able to achieve anything. You will break down at one point of time. If you force anything, if you push yourself, in that case, you will not be able to, that because it is actually greed which is pushing you, that no, I need to achieve this, I need to attain this. Let me see how the experience will be. I want to open my third eye chakra. Okay, so these are basically nothing but greed of power. You understand? Your goal is not to achieve something, but instead your goal is not to achieve anything. Become nothing. That should be your goal. So when that kind of mentality comes into you, things will automatically fall in place and things will start moving faster for you. But as long as you are running after something, it will not come to you. It will move away from you rather. So we were discussing about pratyahar. Why it is important? Because this is the stage where when you start practicing meditation, you begin to close the outside world and start focusing inside. You start looking inside. Who am I? It begins with that. Why I should meditate? What do I want from meditation? And you will not have to go to somebody else, because if I say that, okay, you should meditate and these are the reasons, it will not satisfy you, because your mind will never accept an external knowledge which the mind has not tasted or experienced. Why I'm using the word mind? Because mind is you. So unless you have experienced something, it will be very difficult for you to accept anybody else's words. It can again be considered as a belief system that, okay, I'm believing, that is why I'm doing. No. When the question comes into your mind that why should I meditate? No external word can satisfy you. No external knowledge can satisfy you. External knowledge can guide you that, okay, yes, if you meditate, then according to Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, the last stage of meditation is Samadhi. Samadhi means delta wave in your brain, and that helps you to achieve moksha, means you can avoid hell and heaven. These are all explained in the video called What is Death? So these are the things which I can guide you as knowledge, but you will have to realize them for yourself by making one step at a time. And a time will come when you will surely ask this question to yourself that, yes, who am I? Rajat Dasgupta on YouTube may be lying. He is a fraud. But the question is genuine. So let me find out the answer. And then you will start working with this question. That, okay, who am I really? Why am I here? When this body is gone, what happens to me? Will I still live? Emotions, pain. Who suffers that? Is it a psychological pain we are talking about? Or is it a physical pain we are talking about? What is the difference between psychological pain and physical pain? How can I avoid pain psychologically? So these are deep, deep questions. And when you start diving into these deep waters, you will start collecting pearls. And they will not satisfy you. They will create more hunger in you, more zeal in you. That, okay, now I understand like one part of it. So what about this one? I have this question as priority now. The first question has been answered. Who is God? Okay, fine. I understood that. What is God and what is it all about? So who am I? Does really God exist? What if there is nothing called God? What will happen? What best can it, can happen if there is no God? If I consider there is no God, what are the pros and cons? Let me identify. Not listening to somebody else's words. Identifying through my own experience. Allowing the conscience and the superconscious to have a conversation. And then going for debates with intelligent people, like-minded people. Attend debates. Ask them questions. Toughest questions. Argue them. You know that your point is not correct, but argue with them. Because the more you argue, the more knowledge comes out from the, other person. That is what I am looking for. I am looking for that knowledge. It is up to me whether to accept that knowledge or not to discard that knowledge. Fine. But I want to hear what that person is saying, wants to say. I want to extract that knowledge out of that person. And then clarify that, okay, this is something which is genuine. This is something where there is doubt. Let me clarify that doubt. This is how you proceed. And a time comes when either you achieve samadhi or in meditation only, you achieve theta wave and you get lot of clarity with all these doubts and you become an enlightened person. Enlightenment doesn't mean that you can walk on top of on water or perform miracles or you can fly. That does not mean enlightened. Enlightened means now you know. You may not know that who created the sun, but what is the need? Do you really need to know that who created the sun? What will you do with yourself? That is more important for you when you die, or before you die, or after you die. Isn't it? Relevant questions. Irrelevant questions will not bother you. You will say, I don't know. There will be people who will ask you these kind of irrelevant questions. That God created you, God created heaven and earth. Fine, that is your belief. Keep it with yourself. I do not know. And I don't want to know also, because that is not my department. That is not my inquiry. My inquiry is, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? How I can help you? How I can help others to gain genuine knowledge. Those things would be more relevant to you. So you understand? Pratyahar. So for today, let us end the topic, because we are in such a situation, topic wise, that Pratyahar is basically the mid position. Okay? After Pratyahar starts or begins the real life meditation. Till now, you have been meditating, but you are not getting profound result, because till now you are preparing your body and mind to actually sit for meditation. Okay? After Pratyahar comes real meditation. And let me give you a small idea. In one of my previous videos, I already said that meditation happens automatically. How? Now, when you are sitting alone and thinking, who am I? And when you are analyzing this question, and that is going on and on and on, and you are not focused onto anything else, whatever is happening outside the world, you are not bothered. Maybe you are sitting on a chair, no posture required, but you are now prepared. Your physical and mental body both are working in synchronized way. Okay, now you have learned how to get yourself disconnected from the outside world. You have started to venture inside your mind. Okay, so suddenly you will notice that you are sitting somewhere, maybe in a railway station, and you started thinking about, a question, a deep question. And you started thinking. And then suddenly the train comes and you realize that, oh my God, 45 minutes just gone like that. So what you are doing is you are actually into meditative state. That is how meditation happens. It happens automatically. You cannot force yourself that, okay, I'll meditate. You will not get any result out of it. Meditation happens because the need has to be there. And how the need will appear in your mind if the mind is not ready, if the body is not ready. So when that situation arises, you automatically get into meditative mind. So this is just a small example, hint I gave you. So let us stop today with Pratyahar. Okay? And tomorrow we'll begin from the next chapter, which is Dhyan dharana and samadhi. Dhyan means concentration. Dharana means concentrating on one particular subject for a prolonged period of time. Holding, dharana, to hold. And when you are capable enough to hold the focus on one particular area for a very long time, then you get into theta wave, and then you get into delta wave. Then it becomes like an infinity, and that is called samadhi. So in samadhi, you can spend 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Not a big deal. You get into, delta wave, come out of delta wave, enjoy the theta wave, because theta wave, a different type of chemical is released in theta wave, which gives you bliss. Delta wave, it is nothingness. So there is no happiness, there is no sadness and things like that. It's zero, empty. But in theta wave, there is peace, there is satisfaction, there is bliss, too much of joy. Those things are in theta wave. Why? Because in theta wave, you start finding your answers, the genuine answers, the true answers. And you know that in the world, no one can question on your knowledge, which you are learning in theta wave. No one can question. They can doubt. That is fine. Let them prove that you are wrong. Because you know that you are not wrong. If someone has doubt, let them prove that you are wrong. So that makes you happy. Anyways, let us meet tomorrow in the third and the last episode of why you are not getting profound result even after meditating for some time. Okay? So, for now, let's end it. And thank you for giving me so much of your time. Bye-bye.